Good morning students. Now in the last session we have completed about the revision of the particular gametogenesis process that occurs in the pre-fertilization event. The second topic in the pre-fertilization event is the gamete transfer. Now gamete transfer in majority of the organisms, that is the male gamete is motile whereas female is stationary, that we have seen whenever we have seen this topic in the chapter. Exceptions are the few fungi and the algae. Both types of gametes are the motile ones. So this some of the algae and the fungi, they have some exceptions that some gametes are the motile one. Now for the particular gamete transfer we have seen the medium is required so that the male gamete reach up to the female gamete. So in algae, bryophytes and in pteridophytes, water is the medium for gamete transfer. To compensate the loss of male gametes during transport, the number of male gametes produces several thousand times the number of female gametes produced. This also we have seen that at comparison with the female gamete, the number of male gametes are formed more. So in order to compensate, their numbers are more as compared to the female gamete, whereas female gamete only one it is formed. Next, we have discussed about the pollination. In simple terms, it is known as the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. It is again of two types. We have seen self-pollination and the cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs between the same flowers of the same plant or the flower that is belonging to the same species of the plant. In that we can say that this is a type of self-pollination, whereas cross-pollination occurs from one flower to the another flower of the different species. Now whenever these pollen grains are formed, they germinate on the stigma surface, they carry towards the particular style and reach up to the ovary, and within the ovary they reach up to the ovule, and then they particular release the male gametes and then they fuse with the particular ovule. These are the events which we have seen in the chapter, that is pollination, then pollen tube formation occurs which results into the fusion of male and female gamete, and finally the fertilization, and that is also known as syngamy. That is, after the pollination and the fusion, fertilization results into the formation of zygote, which is also known as syngamy. That is, we have seen. Now fertilization is the formation of diploid zygote. As a result, whenever the haploid gametes, haploid means n number of chromosomes they are having, whenever they fuse with each other they form diploid zygote. So some of the exceptions we have seen in the topic, that is parthenogenesis, that some female gametes undergo development of new organism without fertilization, and this phenomenon is called parthenogenesis. Here the male gamete is not required, only the female gamete undergo development and this single gamete results into the formation of new organisms. Examples are the rotifers, honeybees, turkey, birds. These are the examples of this parthenogenesis process, and this is the kind of exception. Now again the fertilization we have seen, it is of two types, external fertilization and internal fertilization. External fertilization, that is the fertilization that is taking place outside the body of organism, that takes place in the algae, fishes and amphibians, whereas internal fertilization that is taking place inside the body of organism, or you can say internal inside the body of female organism. Example are the fungi, reptiles, birds and mammals. Out of this external and internal, we have seen the internal fertilization is more favorable as it preserves the zygote formation. Now after the fertilization there comes the post-fertilization events. In this, the particular events in sexual reproduction after the formation of zygote are included in the post-fertilization event. Now, as we have seen, the zygote is the diploid one. In organisms belonging to the fungi and algae, the zygote develops a thick wall that is resistant to desiccation and damage. It undergoes a period of rest before germination, or you can say it undergoes a period of dormancy. So whenever the favorable conditions are there, they germinate and they grow into the new organism. Till then, they remain in rest. This is how after the zygote, the process of embryo formation occur, and that is known as embryogenesis. Here you can see the flow chart. First the zygote is there, which undergo the cell division, that is the simple division mitosis. As a result, particularly it will increase in the cell number. Then following the cell division, cell differentiation will be there. Cell differentiation is the formation of the tissues, and finally the organs are formed. And once the organs are formed, it will just new organs are added, and finally a fully developed organism is formed. Now regarding the animals can be divided into again two categories. We have seen oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous, these are those organisms that lay fertilized or unfertilized eggs. Examples are the reptiles and birds. Whereas viviparous, this includes the mammals which give birth to the young ones. So this we have seen. Now development of zygote, again how occurs in the oviparous and viviparous organisms, that is somewhat different. As we have seen in the oviparous, fertilized eggs, they are covered by the hard calcareous shell which laid in a safe place in environment, and young ones hatch out after a period of incubation. In case of viviparous, proper embryonic care and protection causes greater survival chances of young ones in viviparous organism. For example, that is case in the mammals. Now last part we have seen that once the zygote is formed, as the zygote matures, it is converted into the embryo. Ovules, they convert into the seed, and ovary, they convert into the fruit. And thick wall of fruit is known as the pericarp. So here we end with the revision part of chapter number 1, that is reproduction in organism. I hope students all these topics are clear to you.